What's up, YouTube? This is Shaman again. This is technically my third deck profile. The second video didn't load though, so this one is a budget Odd Eyes Magician deck, and I'm pretty happy with the results I've gotten here. And you'll understand some of the choices of tech cards, because Apex Avian is just way too expensive with others. So I'll get into it with monsters. I start out with 3 Odd Eyes Dragon over Apex Avian because they are way cheaper, and they've got an okay effect. It's pretty much better out of the theme, plus it makes other cards work better in the deck, like Noble Dragon, I should say. She works with that card really well for your synchro plays. But next I have 3 Pendulum Dragon. It just helps with consistency of the deck, plus the effects of this and the vanilla Odd Eyes Dragon are all really good for attacking over Pepe's to get pretty much game and Mage Specters. Got 3 Dragon Pit Magicians because they are your pretty much your go-to rank, Pendulum Scale 8, I should say. They're really nice. Probably just a 3 of in any build. Then I got 3 Skullcrabat Joker. Skullcrabat Joker is pretty nice. Its effect to search when it's normal summon is helpful, especially if you start with an iffy hand and have that. You can at least search out your Odd Eyes Dragon, destroy it during the end phase, and then get your Wisdom Eye and go from there. It helps. Next, 3 Wisdom Eye. It's really nice for the deck. Its Pendulum effect is superb. The monster effect, however, is a joke. It's bad. But it's good for activating 2 of these and then getting your scales directly from the deck. 3 Oath Dragon. Oath Dragon's a really nice one to recycle your Odd Eyes and your Magicians if they get sent to the grave, because you do overrate a lot with this build. 2 Dragon Pulse Magician. 2 Dragon Pulse. I run them. A lot of people run them at 3. I run them at 2 in this build because I run a lower monster count to make this kind of against other pendulums. You'll understand because I run a lot of traps. But then I run at last 1 Noble Dragon. It's helpful because you get your synchro plays out of it, and you can activate it, destroy it with its own effect, and then continue by pendulum summoning it and whatever else you have. And it's really nice. That's all for monsters. Go to spells. I run 3 Pendulum Call. Pendulum Call is really helpful when you open with it. Other than that, it's probably mediocre. It's not the best. Next, 2 Summoner's Art. Summoner's Art's pretty nice to help search out your Dragon Pit. Plus, it's cheaper than running Upstart. Saying, if I was playing more of a non-budget deck, pretty much, I was playing more of a pure one, it would be more Upstart, stuff like that. But this is budget compared to the others. I mean, I'm talking like less than $50 here for the main deck. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, because MSTs are really nice in this format for popping scales and back row if there's any. 2 Sky Iris. They're really nice to help get your ball rolling by destroying your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon if it's on the field. And then you can just Pendulum Summon it right back. It's the combos, plus it protects your scales. 1 Terraforming, sorry. I was running 2, but 1 with the Sky Iris just for deck thinning. Then again, cheaper than Upstart. 1 Sacred Sword of 7 stars. You run so many level 7s, you can afford to banish 1 for it. Then I only run 1 Wavering Eyes. I might bump it up to 2, but I honestly don't like it because its effect's just way too stacky. I mean, 4 different effects, and if you search it out, then you could use another one that same turn. Which is, it's good for you, but then again, it's bad at the same time because you can waste your resources with it. I'm testing it at 1, and I have not been disappointed with just the 1 because I get it when I need it, and if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world because I have other cards I can run on. I might take out Terraforming or my Summoner Arts for 2 more of these, because these aren't that expensive, but so far I'm liking 1. Next, for traps, I run 2 Mirror Force. Double Mirror Force is nice, plus it's cheaper than Storming. It stops their plays. Even if you're going against Pendulums, you put all the Pendulums back on the extra deck, so you have a clear field for your next turn. I also run 2 Horn of Heaven. It's a really good card. You contribute one of your monsters, like one of your Odd Eyes or whatever, and then stop a Pendulum summon or pretty much any summon you want. But it has to be self-summons, not an effect summon. So 2 is I'm liking 2. It's been a nice tech for me. 1 Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning's been pretty sick because it's 2,000, negate any summon. So it's sick. Everyone loves Solemn. Then 1 Torrential, because if you normal summon your Skullcrobat Torrential, you get your search, and then you can Pendulum summon from there, and they have a empty field. That is it for main deck. I'm going to go on to side deck. Oh, sorry. Forgot 1 trap. Vanity's Emptiness. You set up a field, activate that, and it's really hard to get past, because Pendulums go right to the extra deck, so it's harder to get past in this deck. I just didn't pick it up when I grabbed everything else. Oops. Side deck, 2 Mind Crush. Your opponent searches, make him discard, or you discard 1. So it's pretty much up for you from there. 1 Macrocosmos, because your opponents hate it. You kind of have to love it at the same time. Cosmo hate here. Light Imprisoning Mirror. Yes, you do run lights in this deck, but your main guys aren't your lights. I mean, you overlay into water or dark, and it's not really that hurting against you, but it hurts Cosmo. 1 Needle Ceiling. This is my own tech. I really like it because if your opponent tries to spam you, if you get a somewhat mediocre hand, and you get this, you can wait until they have 4 monsters in the field, then chain that, destroy all the face-up monsters they currently control. Another one I like is Chaos Trap Hole. Again, pretty much Cosmo there. Just stop it, banish it, so it hurts. Mind Drain. Everyone hates Cyframes. They're annoying to play against, so one of those. Plus, it helps against other decks too, but mainly Cyframes. 1 Breakthrough Skill. I'm running this inside because I didn't like it in main. It's not as useful as it was 2 formats ago or last format. It's just not as useful. I do like it though, and sometimes I will want to swap out Vanity's Emptiness for it or something. Another tech card is Epidermic Virus. It's been really good because you run 6 2500 or more attack darks because of your Pendulum Dragons and your Odd Eyes Dragons. It's been really nice because you can declare spells and get rid of your opponent's scales for 3 turns, all scales they would possibly have, and pretty much any Pendulum in their hand. And it really hurts, and this deck can actually pull it off. 1 Spell Shattering Arrow hurts your opponent's Pendulum scales while keeping you alive, and it hurts, especially if they activate 2, you chain it. It's like 1,000, and it's really nice. 1 Magical Spring. It's like a Pot of Greed for Pendulum decks, because you activate it and your opponent has their scales, and you get a +2. Another tech card I like, really against Cosmo, System Down. You pay 1,000, banish all machines they control and in their grave. It's just been really, really nice. I've really liked that card in the deck. 1 Poisonous Winds. Your 4-Mage Pendulums and your Mage Specters. Not really 4-Mage Pendulums a lot, but your Pepe Magicians a little bit. Mainly against Magic Specters, but I haven't really faced many lately. 1 Dimensional Fissure. Dimensional Fissure is... It's okay, if you're not playing another Pendulum deck, pretty much. So it's worthy of having. And 1 Mystical Space Typhoon to complete the set for 3. MST is just, I feel like it's important in this format because of so many pendulum decks out there, and if you do have back row, it really helps to get past other people's back row. Now to the extra deck. The only synchros I run, the only one this deck really should run, is Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. It's a really good effect. Plus, if you want to push from later game, you can get this, and then send your Dragon Pit, and then overlay for your rank 7, which is probably Big Eye half the time. And that's all for synchros. Then I run Gaga Samurai, because Samurai is really nice to help push for 3800 attack if you clear their field. Plus you rank 4s are your main things. One Time Dire Wolf, because it's pretty much staple in extra deck right now if you run rank 4s. Heartland Draco, because it's insane in this deck. If you control a face-up spell, cannot be a target for attacks, and then they can attack directly. It is amazing because you always have face-up spells because of your scales. I run 1 Castel, because Castel is a staple rank 4 in my opinion. Honor Arc, because Honor Arc's really good too. I mean, if you want to get something big out, you put this on the field, take it over, and put it under it. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes that's kind of they want you to play like that. Ragna Zero. I just like Ragna Zero because if they do get a boost from like Dark Rebellion, XYZ Dragon, maybe you destroy it, get a free draw, and it's not that expensive to get this card. Dark Rebellion because it's easy to get, cheap, and it's just a really good effect. If someone gets a Dark Rebellion Dragon, you get this and Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon them against their own, and you get a huge monster. Gauntlet Launcher, because you can use this effect twice in one turn, and it can really clear up the field for you if they get annoying cards. Photon Strike Bouncer, because it's another really good rank 6. I don't like Naruto in this build. And you could run 1 if you want, but it's not that cheap. I mean, this is a budget one. Big Eye, probably the most expensive card out of all of them in the deck. It's good if you take over someone else's big monster and beat them with it. It's pretty much Mr. Studio Girl of the Yu-Gi-Oh world. 1 Master of Blades, because targeting him is bad for them. Because they target, negate, pop another card. It's pretty nice. And then 2 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragons. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, I've really liked him. If I go into anyone, it's either Big Eye or him. He just helps out quite a bit. And it's like a Utopia on steroids. Well, that is my time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like the build. It competes very well for being very cheap. That's just the way I'm gonna put it. It plays very well if you don't have a few $100 to spend on Apex Avians and other select cards in the deck. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.